Things out Vecchio! What a goal! Luciano Vecchio restores Leeds advantage.
Hernandez chips it up. Bamford Doan! Patrick Bamford opens the scoring for Leeds United.
Good evening, thank you for joining us here on Matchday Live, where there are just 3 games left of the regular season and everything to play for. Now, the squad have travelled over to the Riverside Stadium to face Middlesbrough, but myself and Michael Bridges are back here at Elland Road in the comfort of our studio, and you can join us here tonight as well in selected territories. Just scan the QR code and you can buy your Matchday pass there. Bridgie, I think I know how you're feeling, but how are you feeling?
I'm very relaxed. It's great to be back here and I'm so looking forward to this game.
A little bit nervous?
Yes, very nervous.
I mean, if we're a little bit nervous, imagine how the players are feeling.
Yeah, big moments, a big part of the season. It's that push for the top 4 and it's such a nerve-wracking part, knowing that there is 4 teams fighting it out for that top 2 spots.
And only 3 games left, like I say, in the regular season. How nervous will they be? Because they will know that essentially these are must-win games, aren't they?
Yeah, they are must-win games. The players will be very nervous, no doubt about it. I know that feeling. I've been involved in the playoff situations before. I've been involved in relegation battles. They will be feeling it. The manager, however, Daniel Farker, I think he'd be looking as cool as you like. He's been in these situations before, in the Championship with another team in Norwich. He's there with Leeds United. He'll be feeling it, but what he won't do, he won't show it. He will be.
He'll be feeling it. He'll be channeling it in other ways, I guess.
And he can't let that come across to his players. He's got to try and just nurture everybody and keep them on that mentality of this promotion push. It is still there and it is on, and it starts tonight away to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I guess he's just got to remain kind of stoic and just stay as he always is. How do you think they'll have utilised the slightly longer break ahead of tonight's game, Bridgie?
He will definitely use it for tactics, for analysis, for everything to do, the rest, the recovery. And I think the thing about Daniel Farker, there's a way that he would have gone about it to tell the players, in the way that the last few performances haven't been up to the standards that we have come to expect from this group of players and the way we've seen the style of play. So you go through the tactics, the set plays, the routines, you go try and get back to that mentality and get focused on getting this game won and show the good moments that we've had this season throughout, the goals that we have scored, the clean sheet mentality that we've had in recent times, you know, at the back end since the turn of 2024, to try and get the players focused and visually aware of what was working so well and what has just become and made us a little bit unstuck in the last few matches. So they're all the things, and I think that little bit of extra time will have helped to get the message across and to get the players switched on again.
Well, we can see the players arriving at the Riverside Stadium there, all looking very relaxed, but like you said, and the man himself,
the
smiling.
Boss.
Yeah, is that a smile?
Yes, that's definitely a smile.
I'm not sure. We'll say it's a smile, but like you say, they're all looking very relaxed, but they know what's at stake here. And promotion-wise, look, we've got 2 games that we're playing before Ipswich play again. Is that a good or a bad thing, do you think?
Always good. I'd like to have the points on the board. I think you've asked me this a few games ago. I always stick by it. It's about points on the board rather than games in hand, because the games in hand mean you've got to win them. The points on the board mean that they are there, they're done. And what you do, you throw the gauntlet down to the other teams in around you.
Well, just a reminder of the games that both Leicester and Ipswich are yet to play. Leicester have got Southampton at home tomorrow. They've got Preston away on Monday the 29th. Blackburn at home on the last day of the season. As for Ipswich, they've got Hull away on Saturday, Coventry away on Tuesday the 30th, and finally Huddersfield at home on the final game of the season. Let's talk about this game tonight though, shall we? And team news. We know there have been 2 changes. Bridgie, Sam Byron is in, of course the injured Connor Roberts. Unfortunate for Connor that. But Pat as well has returned back up front in place of Joel Peru. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Joel Peru didn't take his opportunity. He was in there. Patrick has had time to get recovered and rested. He's up against his old club as well, Middlesbrough. So he's been there a bit more. I used to love coming up against my old teams.
Does it add a bit of fire to it? A bit of fire in your belly? It shouldn't,
but it does. And you always tend to do very well against teams that I was coming up against that I'd left. I came to Leeds United, I scored against Sunderland. I went to Carlisle United, I scored against Leeds. And it's incredible the amount of times it does happen. So Patty will need no more incentive. He's played against them before, no doubt about it. He's up there. He's got an opportunity. I'm backing him tonight. I'm going to say he's going to get in the score sheet. Yeah,
I was going to ask you that. Do you think Pat is the kind of player that will kind of thrive off that, off knowing that he's playing against a former club?
I'd like to think so. Yeah. And the season that he's had, he's had a bad spell with an injury, the knock-on effects. He got his opportunity, he came through that, and he scored some wonderful goals. He had this goal-scoring spree. He had the penalty miss. So his season has been like that. So there's every chance that in a little dip of form of late, Patty will bounce back tonight against a team. And then the other changes in right back with Sam Byron, Mr. Reliable. I'm gutted for Connor Roberts, the Welsh international, very experienced, but Sam Byron, every time he's been relied or asked, he's done a fantastic job, and he scored goals this season. And
he has.
He's always been up for the challenge to come. And what the biggest thing for him this season, he has managed to maintain his fitness levels whenever he's been required.
Yeah, he has. And look, we'll talk about this Middlesbrough team as well shortly. But first up, let's head over to the Riverside Stadium, shall we, for the first time this evening, and catch up with our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Well, it feels like a long break since that last Leeds United fixture. Long time for everyone to lick their wounds, but also to focus on what is still another really big game with the clock ticking towards the end of the season. Here we are at Middlesbrough. Team news first, Tony. A couple of changes to the starting 11. Is that a surprise or not?
I think experience at this stage of the season is vital, and Byram and Bamford especially, have got that in abundance. So probably not. But I think what is interesting is that with 3 games to go, it's still a fantastic opportunity, and that's how we all need to look at it, because it's all there to play for. I think 3 wins gets the job done, but you have to go and get those 3 wins. So, we still have that great prize ahead of us.
Short journey up the A1/A19 for this one this evening. So it's got the feel of a local derby, hasn't it? How do you expect Middlesbrough to approach it, who don't seem to have a great deal to play for at this stage?
I'd love to think they'd approach it in that manner, Bryn. I know what you're saying, but I don't think so. Anytime we come to town, we know it's going to be difficult. But you're right, they have got nothing to play for. So I think for us, it's getting on top early, making it difficult, getting that goal, and then let's see how they respond. But I'm sure at the start, it's going to be, blood and thunder. We know what to expect. But I think for our point of view, it's been calm, measured, and taking the game to Borough.
Has it been a good thing that there's been what feels like a really long break since that last fixture?
I don't think so. No, you want to just get on with things. I'm sure they were disappointed, the boys, as we all were. But hopefully over the days and what they've been away from the training ground for a couple of days as well, and now getting their head back into it, they realise that this is still very much on. This is whatever way we end up going, whether it's the playoffs, no one wants to hear that, but whether we go straight up, there's still a hell of an opportunity, and that's how we need to approach it.
So there you go. It's total positivity from here on in, starting with this game this evening.
I didn't know that Bryn Law was the motivational speaker I needed in my life, but I'm here for it.
How good is that? I love anything
I love
like
it.
that.
I love a bit of positivity.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Middlesbrough, though, because they kind of alluded to it there. Look, they have the slimmest of chances, don't they? It is the slimmest of chances. And mathematically, other teams have to lose. And
9
stuff.
points off.
Yeah, playoffs.
Got to win all 3 games. Other teams have got to lose all their games. The Middlesbrough players, half of them will have their heads on their holidays. They'll be ready because the season is kind of over for them, Emma. But they're still professional footballers, and they've got a massive opportunity to dampen other teams in and around the playoffs, and it starts with Leeds United tonight.
They have, and also they still do know that they've got the slimmest of chances, and no doubt their manager has reminded them of that, so they will feel like this is a must-win as well tonight, you'd think.
It's a must-win for them. They've got absolutely nothing to lose, so they're going to have to come out, they're going to have a right good go, and Michael Carroll will have them switched on. I'm delighted that we're not going to play against Luke Ayling and Sam Greenwood. Obviously they can't be part of it. Players that we admire, we've got a lot of respect for them and a lot of time for them, but they could have damaged again, players going against your thing. You don't need that.
We don't need Luke Haley breaking our
You
hearts
don't.
here.
You don't. So it's a must-win game for them, and I think they're going to have to come out and have a go. And it'll suit the way that we want to play in Daniel Farke's style. Which
was exactly my next question. Yeah. How much is that going to play into our hands? Because we know that when teams do come out, that gives us opportunities. It's just about capitalising on those.
I've watched Middlesbrough a lot this season. They're so vulnerable in counter-attacking moments. When they're trying to play out and they lose the ball, the wide areas, they can get counter-attack for fun. They can go the set plays for them. They have conceded so many goals from set plays. Now, I'm very surprised because an old colleague of mine, Jonathan Woodgate, is the assistant manager there with Michael Carrick, does a lot of set play work with the teams. I'm surprised he's allowed it to happen, but that has been their vulnerability this season. I call them, they've been yo-yo. Really bad start this season. They were right down. Michael Carrick's job was under pressure. They had a real good spin in form, terrible over Christmas, and they've had a right bounce back towards the end of the season, but it's just too little too late for them.
Well, yeah, that's been one of their vulnerabilities, but one of their strengths has been Latela, who we saw, he scored both goals against us here at Elland Road in that 3-2 win over them. He is a danger man tonight, isn't he?
Yes, 12 goals this season. He's had some injuries as well. I mean, I'm devastated that he's on the team sheet because he is an absolute threat. And he's hitting a run of form at the minute, 12 goals. I think 10 of them goals have come in his last 12 games as well. He's just been on absolute fire. And Middlesbrough would have been in and out the playoffs, if not the promotion top fight that we are in at this moment in time, if he'd have been fit this season. So the big job is to make sure that who are the two centre-halves and the midfielders, they cannot give him time and space, because if he can get a shot on target at the minute, he's in really good form.
Yeah, he can be very dangerous, can't he? But in terms of, they've got quite a depleted squad, to be honest, haven't they, this Middlesbrough side? They've been struggling a little bit.
It's been their downfall as well. Another thing that Michael Carrick, it's something that they've had to learn from, whether it's going into next season. Why have they had so many injuries? What has been their issue? Because they lost a lot of good players last season, so he had an uphill battle with that. However, you can't use an excuse. Every team at some point this season goes through an injury crisis, suspension crisis.
And what's our approach tonight, Bridget?
Attack. We must put
and
the ball.
And defence, please, as well.
Well, listen, I'm going to say that at the end of the field, the top end of the field is where the big moments happen for us. We need to be clinical. We've got to take our chances, and we will get chances against Middlesbrough. We look very, very static against Sunderland. It just didn't happen there. Twice we've played Sunderland this season. They've really nullified everything that we have had to throw at them. Middlesbrough might have gathered something up, but I just feel like they've got to go for it, because they've got to come out and win this game. So they're going to be time where we can expose them. So set plays, counter-attacking football, and the pace that we have, absolutely huge. Daniel Farke will have an amazing game plan for this result.
Well, let's get the thoughts from the man himself, shall we? Here's the boss, Daniel Farke.
This club is amazing, and we have one department where we are definitely one of the best sides in this league, if not the best side. This is our supporters. The supporters of this club are second to none. They are right up there with the best in this country, if they are not the best. But just because we have the skill, it's not we are the big favorite anyhow. When I compare our last 20 years as a club, and I love this club already, and I am ambitious. I told you what I want for this club in the mid and the long term. But when I compare how many years we spent in the Premier League in the last 20 years, and you compare this with the likes of Leicester or Southampton, you won't label us the big favorite, if I'm honest. When you have a look on the average age who is on the starting lineup, you won't label us as a big favorite. We have fantastic players, and I tell you what, I don't want to swap one player. I totally believe in this group, and I totally trust these players. But because we are not the finished end product, I can't guarantee that we are always there with a perfect outcome. But I don't want to copy anyone. But I think it was my German fella, Jürgen Klopp, once he joined Liverpool. He said once, we have to start this process to become believers, not doubters. And this is more or less like what I would like to invite everyone who is connected with Leeds United. These lads have done so fantastic, and also this club, the key people in this club, has done so fantastic to come from really difficult situation 10 months ago into this position right now. We have an exciting young team with lots of potential, and we are on the right path, and we're developing so much into the right direction. These lads deserve so much backing and so much trust. And I would like to invite everyone to be a believer. To believe that we can do it, that we can make out of our season a perfect season, either by using the first bullet, by climbing up the table in the top 2, and if not, then by the second bullet to play a perfect season to go into the playoffs. I rather would finish the season in the beginning of May, if I'm really honest, because I'm also looking forward to plan a bit earlier, to have a bit more relaxed summer. But if not, then we also go for the playoffs. But right now we are just focused. No, the last 3 games. Come on, be a believer. I believe in that we can do this, and we go for it. And if you choose to stay a doubter and moan a bit and be pessimistic and whatever. And don't worry, we go for it anyway. So we tried though, so not a problem. But believe me, it feels much better if you're a believer. This is more or less. I would like to invite everyone who backs us, because this young group needs backing. This young group needs trust and needs support and deserves it. This is what I'm totally convinced of, and we go for it. So I can promise we go for it. I can't promise the perfect result, because it's football. We are a young side, but we'll definitely go for it. And I just can invite everyone to be a believer, because it feels much better than just be a moaner or doubter. But if you choose to moan and doubt, no problem. We go for it anyway.
We're believers, Daniel. Are we not?
I'm a believer.
There we go. He was singing that.
He's so good.
He is brilliant,
he's
isn't
so
he?
good, yeah.
And when he mentioned, I'd like the season to be ending at the beginning of May, we all would. We've all got holidays, Daniel. We want to go.
I know why he does. He wants to get his guns out and his speedos on holiday and just be relaxed and have the trophy ready to go. Champions.
A bit like yourself, Bridget.
Unlike me. No.
Do you know what? He was so strong and passionate there, wasn't he? Like, you can tell it was almost a rallying cry, that wasn't it? I invite you to believe, and he means every word.
And he's right what he's saying. If you think that prior to the window closing, we're in disarray. We're thinking, what's going on with the football club? Until we got it sorted out, he knew the players. He had his disposal, knew what was coming through. It took him a while to settle in from the pre-season, and since that moment, we've seen Daniel Farke and this team develop, and at moments be absolutely unstoppable, especially since the turn of the year. So he's just saying, stick with it. We are still in the mix, and we're going places. And come on board. And I'm on board.
I am as well. Yeah. Do you notice that he said, I think the club have done fantastic to come from this situation to the situation we're in now, and he didn't once credit himself. He kind of epitomises and sums up what Leeds United is about.
How many times have we said that? He's selfless.
Yeah.
When it was all I can't think what game it was this season when we were really struggling to change it up tactically, and we came back and we got a couple of goals later on. Connor Roberts came on, changed the game. Not once did he mention himself and the tactics that he changed on us. It was all about the players went out there and delivered. So that makes him even more likeable character.
And also, when he was saying there isn't a single player I'd swap, if you're one of this squad watching that gives you belief that my manager truly believes in me.
Yeah, because when he says it, it's not like he's not a flippant comment where he's just thrown out there. A lot of managers can do that. There's no authenticity behind it. He is so genuine when he means it. You can tell by his body language, by his demeanour. He's very sincere. What he means. He is, yeah.
And how important do you think his experience is at this stage of the season with where we're at?
Invaluable. I always go back to talk about the time in the 90s. I don't want Leeds fans to go back and think, what could have been. 99-2000, in the season that I was there, we were top of the Premier League at Christmas. We were a very, very young team. We didn't have a manager that had won it before. The other team across the 62 had. Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal. They'd won it before. We just didn't have somebody to get us over the line. This man has been and done it in this division. He's got that insight as to what to do tactically, and what he's doing. He's nurturing young players as well. We were nurtured by O'Leary and Eddie Gray and developed, but we just didn't have that killer instinct and get over the line. Hopefully this guy's got that mentality, and what he's been doing, he's been nurturing youngsters as well at this football club.
He has. Well, look, if you would like to join the Daniel Farke fan club, then we welcome you. Come on in. Look, it's been an incredible season for Archie Gray, who was named Young Player of the Year here at the club and also at the EFL Awards. And he caught up with LUTV to talk about the focus heading into these last 3 games.
Well, Archie, ahead of the return to action on Monday night against Middlesbrough, how would you sum up the mood in the camp and kind of your approach to this next game?
Yeah, as disappointing the last few games were, you've got to keep your head high for the last 3 games, and you've just got to focus on them. And yeah, that's what we're thinking. We're just you know, we can't change the last few games as bad as the results were, but we've just got to keep the mood good and focus on these next 3 games. So yeah.
Yeah, you've not had to kind of deal with defeats very often. So how will you respond, and how do you make sure you bounce back?
Yeah, definitely. I've said it in quite a few interviews, but just not getting too carried away with the wins and not getting too low when you get the defeats, and should keep a stable mindset, and hopefully that'll get you through. But like I said, just focusing on the next game, and you can't change the result that's just happened. So yeah.
And very much about remembering that over the course of the season, you've shown unbelievable consistency and still in a great position in the league with 3 games to go. Yeah,
definitely we're in a good position to attack the last 3 games and hopefully bring us to where we want to be. But like I said again, these next 3 games are massive, and we just need to focus on them. And yeah.
And how much do you feel it is about mentality now? We've seen the teams at the top kind of slip up in games people expected them to get results in. So is it about mentality as much as anything?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been the same the whole season. Every game's about mentality in the Championship, and in the last minutes you can still get a goal, and anything can happen in the Championship in the last minutes of a game. So, you know, just trying to keep focused in all the games and taking them one by one each time. So yeah. Yeah,
and I guess the motivation is the fact that the prize is there at the end of the season, one way or another, getting promoted to the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. It's where we want to be, and it's where the club belongs. So yeah.
Obviously, you know, you've had a bit of an extended break now between these matches, but for yourself, you're at the EFL Awards at the weekend. And did rather well. How was that experience and picking up the awards you did?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for winning the awards that I did, and you know, I'm glad that the EFL recognise and the fans recognise what I'm doing, and hopefully I can carry that on. But I think my focus is just on these next 3 games and seeing where that can take us.
It's a weird one, isn't it, picking up individual awards in a team sport, isn't it? Because you know you'd probably swap them all for promotion and success as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the season's not over yet, so we've still got these next 3 games to show what we can do, and I can show what I can do. So yeah.
Middlesbrough have an outside chance of the playoffs, but going away there's always a good atmosphere, there's a good rivalry. What kind of game do you expect, Archie?
Yeah, definitely. They've always got a good atmosphere, and our travelling fans will be brilliant as well. So it'll be a good game, and both teams will like to play football. So it'll be a good game to watch, and I reckon, you know, we'll hopefully try to contain their chances and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be a good game for the fans to watch, and hopefully we can get the win. But yeah.
Do you think it'll be good because Middlesbrough have to win? They have to win the game. So in that sense, unlike maybe some of the teams you played recently, they'll come out and give it a go, and maybe create some space.
Yeah, definitely. I think there'll be a bit more space than the last few games, because the last few teams have come and sat off, which in games it's worked. But I think with the way Middlesbrough play, there'll be more space for both teams in a sense. So yeah.
And how are you feeling about the final 3 games? Because this is it now, isn't it? I mean, I know there might be playoffs to come, whatever, but how are you feeling personally about it?
Yeah, I think you just got to feel confident and trust what you've been doing all season. Will hopefully win us these next 3 games or get the results that we need in these next few games. So yeah, definitely feeling good about them. So yeah.
What a season he's had, Bridgie. He's absolutely cleaning up the trophies, and deservedly so. He's been unbelievable.
Remember the Man of the Match award against Chelsea as well, playing against the £200 million signings and Caicedo and Enzo, and he just bossed it.
He really did. Yeah. Is there almost an element of, because he is so young, does that help him with that confidence? Because, you know, there's not a naivety, because he's got a really mature head on him. But he goes into these things with nothing to lose.
You've got to have a confidence, you've got to back yourself and believe yourself. Now, there's a fine line between being egotistical and arrogant,
which he is
and
not.
Over the top, which he is not, because he's got the support mechanism around him. His family have handled it so well, he's handled it so well. But you've still got to go out there and believe that you are the best. And every time I see him getting interviewed, he's still maturing, and he's looking so much as the professional footballer that you don't know where this kid can go. And I'm hoping he goes to the highest heights with Leeds United.
Yes, that's it.
That's exactly what it is. Don't get us wrong, I'm smart there. Not going to upset anybody. But it's just great to see, because you've got to take positives out of the negatives. And the negative was we got relegated last season, we got to the Championship. The positive is, would we have seen Archie come through and get as much game time in the Premier League?
You're right, and be such a shining light.
And there's a lot of people that have embraced it, and he is one of them, and it's just been absolutely magnificent to witness.
It really has, and he mentioned there in that interview, you know, we've got to focus on the next 3 games, and it gives me an opportunity to show what I can do, and that kind of feeds into what you were saying about the confidence. Yeah. He's seen this as it's an opportunity for me to continue showing what I can do.
And I remember the celebrations afterwards when we're singing that particular riot out here going crazy with the result, and he was like leading it with the fans. That's good to see, because he actually said, I used to sing that, I'm a fan as well. So there's nothing better than a childhood fan that's doing how well he is doing, and he knows what a part that he can play in this club's history to get Leeds back to the Premier League, and he needs no more incentive.
Absolutely, and like you say, deservedly getting all of the plaudits. He spoke about focus then, though, repeatedly. He was talking about, we focus on the next few games, we focus on the next few games. That will have been fed to all of the players. Just keep focused, just keep focused. And it is so important that they do it and don't get sort of overawed by the occasion, isn't it, for these next few
You've got to
games.
know what the job at hand is, and the job at hand, he talked about Middlesbrough there. They've got to win every game, and they're going to open up, and it will suit our style. We've got to go and win every game as well. So there's that focus and that mentality and that belief that we've got to go and do it. And like I say, the mentality from Daniel Farke, he'll have them absolutely switched on, and this is massive tonight.
It really is. Well, on that note, score prediction, Richie.
Oh, you know I don't like this part, Emma. Oh, I'm right. I'm going to say 3-1 win.
3-1, we'll take that.
1-3 win.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Right, let's head over to the Riverside Stadium very shortly to join Bryn Lawrence, Tony Dorigo. But first, let's get the thoughts of Ilya Gruev.
Well, Ilya, you've had a good break since the last game. Have you worked hard? Have you done well in the training sessions?
Yes, I think so. We had a good training week. We worked on a lot of things. So we had a good week, and we tried to show it today in the game.
It's been a tough few weeks, I would guess, because the results have suddenly started to not go the way you want them to. Have you worked on the plan to make sure you get back to doing what you were doing before?
Yes, I think it's normal that in some stage of the season you have some results which are not so good, because before the weeks we had only good results, and I think it's normal, but this is football and it happens, and today we can show our true face, and I hope we are going to do this.
Big game tonight, isn't it? Very important game tonight.
Yes, it's an important game. We know it, but we know there are only 3 games left. So we want to show that our quality and to win this game, and we will go for it.
So we're back again, and we have 3 games to go. And although it feels like winter here on Teesside this evening, it's cold, there's swirling rain around the stadium. It definitely doesn't feel like May is just around the corner, and with it the campaign's conclusion.